What up?
Oh, hell, the Knights of the Gimmick table where we spit the truth at the infamous round table and your feelings get left at the door. I am Boogaloo. This is LowRyda. And that is the artist formerly known as Kaide, Lothbrok. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
What's up?
Another day in paradise.
You're talking about your internet acting up. My internet started acting up just now. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, but at least your goddamn dog didn't chew your internet cable.
I gotta take my own fucking advice I was giving you. I'm about to connect to my hotspot right now.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Fucking, it's been one of those days.
Yeah.
well, hey, man, it's part of the deal, right?
Fucking yeah.
That happens regularly.
Yeah, this shit doesn't happen with my reptiles, man. I ain't got to worry about them chewing up shit.
Well, I guess, right? Leave the motherfuckers roaming around. You could worry about it.
It's all right. Nobody gets out. We're good. We're good.
But yeah, let's pay some bills.
Got it. I don't know if did your brother bounce out? I sleeves, man. Sleeves offer great quality products from arm sleeves, knee sleeves, headbands, tights, joggers, socks. They got them dirty boxers that I know Mega and Boogaloo are into. And if you or someone you know in your life is an athlete, then check out sleeves.com and use the promo code MWAPOD to get your discount.
All right, man. That's wonderful. And healthvape.com. Health Vape sells healthy vaping alternatives. All their products have no harmful or addictive chemicals. They're vitamin infused. There are no nicotine. Absolutely no nicotine. So make sure you pick yourself up some of their Vapor Pod products using our code MWAPOD for that 10% discount. What else do we got? Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MWA World. Subscribe to us on all podcast platforms and YouTube, MWA Podcast Network. If you're not, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/MWA World, where you can watch all of our shows.
The shirt, get the shirt out there.
Storefrontier.com/MWA World, where you can get yourself one of these dope ass Knights of the Gimmick table shirts. And you can get yourself some of the other stuff too that we have from the shows on our network. So yeah,
man.
Yeah, here we go. Also, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and comment on our shows. All right, so Kaide, you got anything going on, man, that you want to plug?
Yeah, man. It's perfect timing. The gentleman we're having on, Sean Carr, is also going to be part of the show. But Excite Pro Wrestling returns this Saturday, and it'll be also the debut of everyone's favorite #Foxy's husband. We got Foxy coming up with me. She'll be making her debut in Binghamton.
Oh, I thought you
manage me.
Foxy's husband was going to be there too.
No, I just like saying #Foxy's husband because it makes me laugh to throw what they mean. But Foxy's coming, debuting at Excite Wrestling along with me. So
I was like, that fool came out of retirement now. He caught the bug.
I heard he's getting the itch, man. I heard Foxy's getting the attention, and our Damien might be getting that itch to come back. So
you gonna try and steal her shine.
Go stick to training on kids in karate, man. Let Foxy get her burn.
Nah, she's excited. It's gonna be awesome. So she's getting busy, man. She's gotten into a lot of shows, so it's good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's awesome. It, man. That's really it for this week.
I was contemplating last week, like, hey, I'm gonna hang up my boots.
You guys can't hang it up until we work, man.
My body was going through so much pain. I'm like, man, you get older. I'm about to be 45, and my body's starting to betray me. I'm like, shit, I'm not healing like I used to. I'm like, what am I getting myself into?
What are you gonna do? Put them in the ring and leave them there?
No, not even. No, I'm not.
Your underwear with your dirty boxers.
Yeah.
Just pull a Jesse Ventura, throw that shit in the river. Just throw it all in the river.
I spent a lot of money on that shit. I ain't got Jesse Ventura money.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to bleed.
You have that contract, baby. You can't.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Right. But hey, man, I'm gonna bring our guest in, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. He's a good dude. There
Sean
he
Here
is.
he goes.
This is
What's
the
up,
man.
guys? How are you guys doing?
What's going
How's
on,
it
my
going,
brother?
man? Nice to meet you, brother.
You should be in movies, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
How you doing, man? How's everything?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a hellacious past couple weeks, but things I hope gonna start looking up and things are good.
Okay. What kind of you been having any issues or injuries? What's up?
Well, I'm coming back from a pretty good elbow injury, but this I'm not sure if Kaide has talked about it or not, but this past week and a half, one of our brothers up at Excite, his name is his shoot name was Jeff Greeno, his worker name was Anarchy Ash Aubrey. He unfortunately had a heart attack and he ended up passing away.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like the trainer of our
30,
school.
he was 36, right? 36.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was 36. He was the trainer at our school. He made almost the entire roster's gear. He was a beloved friend. He was a great dude. And it's definitely been it doesn't seem real yet, and it's been a pretty terrible week to say the least.
Sorry for your loss, man.
That
sucks,
sucks, dude, man. He sounds like a great human being. Are you guys doing anything for him, and like anything coming up?
Yeah, this Saturday we at first we weren't sure if we were gonna do the show on Saturday just because it was so close. I mean, he just died, I think, last on Sunday or Monday. So
yeah, it's fresh.
Yeah, it's really fresh. But his wife, we talked to his wife. His wife said no, Jeff would want us to go through with the show. So we're gonna do, the good old 10 bell salute and everything that what we do. And then we're gonna do a pretty big memorial show for him in July. So we're gonna honor him, which is what he would want and what his family wants. So yeah, we're gonna do what we do in the wrestling business. When a brother falls, we're gonna make his memory last forever.
Hey man, that's the only way to do it, man. Unfortunately it seems like we've been having way too many of our brothers passing over the past couple years, and
it's getting crazy.
A lot of them at young ages, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, like his thing is a complete freak accident. It's like completely out of like left field. No one, and I when I heard about it, I was blown away because like he was, as far as I know, he was straight and narrow, never really did anything extracurriculars or anything like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's obviously when you hear 36 years old. The first thing I think is, oh man, was he on the gimmicks?
Yeah, no,
but
I guess
that sucks, man.
His family had a history of heart issues, and Jeff was the type of guy where he's like a lot of us, where you get hurt or whatever, you just tape it up and go on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I guess that day he was training a bunch of the kids, and his arm kept hurting him, but he just thought he pulled something or hurt something or he didn't really pay it any mind. And then it was that night that he was like, man, this is just not getting any better. And anytime Jeff would get hurt, and I know this because I've traveled with him, I've wrestled him, anytime that his body was in pain, he'd just take a shower. Like that was his thing. He was like, okay, I'm just going to take a shower. It's going to, help calm me, release whatever. And he couldn't, the pain wasn't going away. And then his wife finally talked him into going to the hospital, and that's where he stood up and he collapsed, and he ended up having a heart attack.
Wow!
So
in the hospital?
No, he was at home. And I guess it took the EMTs quite a bit to get there, and his body went. I think his wife said about a half hour, 40 minutes without oxygen. So, I mean, your body starts to shut down after 6 minutes with no oxygen. So he was,
right.
It's just, it was rough. It definitely was. And then to make matters worse, like WWE was in our town the night that happened. And a lot of the guys were there watching WWE. I had my daughter, she's likes going to indies that I'm on. She doesn't really like going to WWE. So like his wife would texted me, and I was trying to get a hold of everybody. So it was rough, but hopefully, like I said, we're gonna honor him. Hopefully, we can start turning the negative around and make it a positive and honoring him. Kaide, I know I think you've wrestled him before, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Only once or twice. He was an awesome dude, man. Like,
yeah,
it's just, you don't know what to say. I hate being that guy. I mean, look, Johnny Moose, this is his company, Excite. I'm sure you guys remember we had him on.
Yeah.
I've been in contact with Moose. He's all shook up, understandably. And I don't know. I hate being that guy that's like, hey, man, the show's got to go on. But, I mean, I'm speaking on my own behalf. I know that if it was me that passed on, my mentality is like, the show doesn't stop no matter what. The world can't stop. And the best way to show and honor someone is to do what he loved. And that's what we got to do. And it's rough, man, because, I went through Crusher. It's the worst thing. 1 minute you're talking to this person, next minute they're gone. And 36 years old. I mean, me and Sean, we're about the same age, right? We're pretty much at the same age.
Yeah.
For me, it was I was like, just like, you get my old lady. I was shook. I was like, this dude's a year older than me, and he had a heart attack. And I mean, he's a worker. He's healthy. He trains, and he still had a heart attack. So it shook me down to my core. I was like, you don't know, man. Like, just these freak things happen. It's scary, and it really puts like life into perspective.
It does. It really does. It makes you really,
nothing's promised, man.
As crazy as it is, like I saw him, like I talked and saw him 2 days before, and the thing with Jeff that he always did is he always when he would embrace you, hug you, give you a handshake, like you could feel that he meant it. Like he was a genuine good person, and he really just wanted people to earn their respect, and he just wanted everybody to know that he really cared about them. And it was crazy because, like he'd always give you those long hugs, and like now, like look and thinking back on it, it's like, man, I'm really going to miss those a lot, because he was just one of those friendly faces that you take for granted, and it just makes you definitely appreciate life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's honestly like losing Crusher was a big hit for me. I was so close to him, but like losing Daphne, who I was also very close to, and like, it just becomes, I don't want to say like you become numb to it, because I don't think you ever do, but it just becomes like, it's just one thing after another. You never know what to do and how to handle it. And the only thing, we could do, like I said, is just, you got to keep moving forward and do what we do. And
so like when we were in the hospital, we were talking to his family. His family was like, you better not cancel that show. Like he'll want to haunt you from the other side. Like, absolutely not. Like that. So it was like talked about for like, a few minutes, and then it was like, okay, no, we have to go on. We have to honor him. This is what he would want. I think that's what all of us in the business would want, like for always the show to go on.
Of course.
No, if you're a glory hound, you just want it to be about you, though.
Yeah.
Get that last final ribbon.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, look, man, you're
that show, man.
You're coming back this show though, man. So I mean, it is a big deal. You're the I don't want to say the Hogan of Binghamton, but you are. You're like the guy. Especially when I first started coming up there, you were the guy. You still are the guy, even though you're a bitter old fuck too, like me sometimes, which is why we get along, I think. But no, man, like we can get into the get away from the unfortunate what happened and talk about the beginning of the career and what got you into the business, where you trained. I know me and you have talked about it before, but for the audience and these guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like where did it all begin?
So it all began in a I started training through an ECPW affiliated school. So I started training, it was like late 2008, early 2009. And Gino Caruso had a school up here in upstate New York. Because he was doing shows up here. What's that?
Who's running that school? Who's running that school in the upstate?
So it was a combination of a lot of people. He would have his he would have Prince Akhenaten come up when he could, but for the majority of the part, it was like all the local guys who've been wrestling for a while up here were kind of running classes. So like at the time, it was this guy named Junior White. He was a worker for a few years, and he was running classes. Ivy Green or Rob Cook, who Kaide, you have a storied career with. He would help out. And it was just one of those things where it was like an affiliation.
Was Rockin' Rebel part of that, or is it?
No. So I never met Rebel till later on down the road when I started like working. I think Rob was trying to get Rebel to come down and to do stuff, but it just never panned out. But yeah, no, I started there. I started on like a Sunday, and 2 weeks later that school was closed down.
That sucks.
So I would bounce back. Like I would go to Gino's on Saturday in New Jersey.
School?
What was that?
Yeah, you were breaking up.
You paid to go to that school?
Of course I did. Yes, I did. I paid my dues and then it shut down. How pro wrestling is that?
What kind of gimmick did they hit you with to go there and close down 2 weeks later?
Oh man. So I guess one of the students, like he was doing something in the bathroom he shouldn't have done, and the owner walked in and the owner's like, "You guys are done. Like goodbye." Wow. That's what I was told. I wasn't really sure on how exactly everything went down like that. But from there, like, you know, I had my introduction. So then I just started messaging people. Hey, is there open ring? And so like I would go to like the Samoans for like an open ring with like, you know, Samu and Lance. That's how I met those guys. And then I would train in like upstate New York in the Rochester area. Just you know, just kind of doing what I can to get ring time. But I would definitely credit my training to Rob Cook, because like he taught me the business. He saw a young kid who could bump, and if he was guided right, he could do something. And you know, he's the one that, you know, brought me on the road, showed me, you know, got me booked, you know, because I really feel like when you really learn to do what we do, it's in front of a crowd. Like you could train all day, you can get the moves down, you can do all that, but to really know what we do, you got to be out in the crowd. You have to be on shows, you got to be on the road, you got to be working. So those are my beginnings. And then like in my local area, Binghamton, like since then there's kind of always been somebody with a ring, and now we have a beautiful training center that we do shows at now.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, it's
so
we got
Binghamton
lucky.
all the way down to Allentown.
Yeah,
wow.
Dude. So I would drive every Saturday from Binghamton to Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey, do like 2 hours of training with whoever was at the school at Gino's. And then that night we would go to wherever the show was to help set the ring up.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, like when kids nowadays say, "Oh, I don't want to drive a half hour to set up the ring," I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like none.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these cats nowadays, they don't know anything about paying dues.
No, they don't.
No, they do not. No.
They do not. I mean, Kaide and I, we've talked about this in locker rooms all the time on, you know, I'm thankful I got brought in the way I did, because it was like right at the last of like that old school generation where you had to earn respect, and it wasn't about just putting a clip up on, you know, a social media and going viral. Like you really had to, like, respect was everything. And if you didn't earn respect, then it was pretty well known. And, you know, nowadays it's like, you know, it's like the wild, wild west on independent wrestling sometimes. But hey, you know, there's pros and cons to everything. It's not totally bad now, but sometimes I'm like, oh, that wouldn't have happened 10, 12 years ago.
So, yeah, believe me, I know that.
Speaking of the choir, I know, right?
Yeah. Half the time when we're in the locker room, it's like, golly, man, how long you been working? And the best is when people are like, oh, yeah, man, I've been doing this for 10 years. Oh, okay, cool. How long you been working? You know, I think this is like 18, 19 years at that time, you know? Yeah. And dude's like, oh, okay. My brother's like, yeah, I've been working 21. But he was killing himself because he was 10 years.
Dude's like, yeah, he goes, you know, I've been working about 10 years. He goes, don't worry, I'll take care of you. I was like, all right, cool. And then he goes, how long you been working? I'm like, 22 years. And he goes, oh, I said, don't worry, I'll take care of you.
That's perfect.
Yeah, fucking. But yeah, man, it's weird because like I mean, we're all from New York, but like where we got our start and we were doing our thing, and where you are, it's like night and day. It's like a completely different world, but we are essentially all New York workers. But it's so like it was weird for me because like I was so used to like that New York City, Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island crowds, and then going up there, it was like night and day. But we are essentially all New York workers. But it's like I said, it's so vastly different. Like, and even like I mean, when like I was fortunate, I had the Dead Presidents, these two who kept my ass and basically taught me the right way. I had Eddie Kingston and Homicide and the Hit Squad. But then like up there, I mean, you had what? You had Cheech and Cloudy, you had Brody. And you had what DeVito and Loke from that area, I believe, right?
Loke.
I know Loke is.
Loke,
so I mean, you and who else is from that area? I mean, what? I know there's a Bobby Fish, right? I believe Bobby
Fish was from the Albany area. You got Pepper Parks or the Blade or Butcher.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I guess
changes all the time.
I guess Andy as well, right?
No, Andy. It's weird. So like Andy did like the music thing. Like Andy's only been working, I think, from like
I know, but I mean he's from that area.
But he's from up there in Buffalo. Like when I was cutting my teeth, man. Yeah, we had all those guys with Colin Cheech. Brody was obviously one of the biggest influences of all of us. I mean, anybody who's been in the business for a long time knows like Brody's the man. He was definitely he was awesome. But yeah, we it, and it's funny you said that because it is like you get past like that, with you guys being in the city and the downstate up here, you're 100% right. It's two totally different worlds.
And like very few guys make that crossover. Like you're one of them. Yeah, I've been fortunate. Like a lot of the guys, if you're an upstate guy, you're an upstate guy.
Yeah.
If you're a metro guy or whatever, city guy, you're like a city. It's weird, and there's very few guys that make that crossover and get to do both. Like it's like you literally like Yonkers is the cutoff, and then like Yonkers on, it's a completely different beast.
Yeah. What's the difference with the crowds?
I would say it. So, and that's the other thing. In upstate, we have a mix of. There's those we have smart mark crowds, but we also have those Bouye early 90s WWE WWF crowds where they just want to be entertained.
Like there's no Elks Lodge environment where it's like they want that ECW bloodlust type. Like they never had that where like I've seen guys. I mean, I've seen matches showing. We and you've been on a few shows we don't have to name where it's like you'll watch the match and you're like, what the fuck? Like you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And the crowd's eating it up. But if that was down by us, they would be torn apart.
Up chants all day.
The crowd would literally just get up and turn their backs and be like, get the fuck out of here.
So like, it's also crazy too, because like there was I would say like it depended on what kind of company it was. Because like I really grew as a performer in 2CW, and they had those.
Promotion.
What's that?
That was a massive dude. Like that's the thing. Like 2CW. I don't know if I'm sure you guys heard about 2CW, right?
Yeah, I knew that. I remember when Chaos and Cash and Dizzy were all going out there regularly.
Dizzy was the champion for a while. Dizzy was like the second.
2CW was huge. Like I was shocked. Like I didn't realize how. They were drawing like the show that Mikey Tajiri did. There was like 2,000 people there. I was blown away. I was like, "Holy shit!" And it wasn't anything like you heard about CZW, Ring of Honor, and this company was outdrawing these companies, the major quote indie companies, bar none, and it had no attention. It was mind blowing.
Yeah, and so like for that company, like we had our diehards. We had our diehards that would travel like the old ECW days. Like they would make every town with us. They'd make every shot. And they were those brutal, ruthless smart marks. Like you trip on the top rope, you got the you effed up chance and all that. But then you have other companies, like not saying not as big, but like companies that were just restricted to one city where it's like, they have their fan base. It's kind of friends and family. Like, they just want to boo the heels and cheer the baby faces, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
whereas
like
with 2CW
was that
for the
town. right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's how we, and then like there's like right now, like there's Excite, which I mean we have somewhat of a smart mark base. Like we have people that do come to us from like Syracuse and Watertown. But the really big one in upstate right now is ESW out in Buffalo. That's where like Daniel Garcia got broken. That's where, you know, Pepper Parks, that's his, you know, his bread and butter company that he was part of. So it's definitely weird. We're like, okay, like you said, like I mean, I was able to make that crossover wrestle, you know, in the city area for, you know, for a few times, and it is like night and day, you know. But I like that because I always hated like going to the same thing every other time, and like I like those new experiences. And I've never really had a bad city. I had one, not a bad experience wrestling because I was wrestling Azrael, and that's my boy. Like I love wrestling I'd wrestle him every day, twice on Sunday. Like that dude, like him and me, we did a lot of cool stuff. But we wrestled in the city, and I guess you guys like down there, like the curfew is really strict.
Well, that was like a new thing.
Okay.
That was some wild ass shit they were trying to pull.
Goodman used to run until midnight.
Yeah. So like the commission came up to us and said, "Yeah, guys, the show's got to be done at 11. We haven't even did our entrances yet, and it was like 10:55." I was like, "Oh, good." And we had like WrestleMania called. Like we had a lot, and we had to cut like all of it. And just kind of go out there and he was, I remember the guy was standing there like ready to ring the bell, you know, and he was like, 5 more minutes, that's all I'm gonna give you, just 5 more minutes. And at 11:05 we ended it. But yeah, that was the only time I was like, well, this is weird because normally shows go, you know, until they're done.
Yeah, dude, the commission down here, I mean, I don't know anymore because I haven't really done a lot of the shows in the not really shows a lot run in the metro area anymore. But for the longest time, yeah, it was weird. They like you couldn't use chairs or ladders or tables, but kendo sticks and all this other shit was just some real off the wall type shit. Like they were getting really strict. They were like trying to say women and you know like whatever your opinion is about men versus wrestling women is whatever. But there's no rule about it, and they were saying that there's rules in the handbook, like really wild shit. I don't know what it was about.
I remember when that happened with Mark House. And I think he wrestled, was it Bonesaw Brooks? I think it was.
Yes, that's the match. Yeah.
I remember because I wrestled Mark the next night up in Rochester, I believe, and he was telling me about it. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, there's some wild.
That's crazy.
Shit. But yeah, like you said, you cut your teeth in 2CW, which was like the mecca. But then like, you wound up getting a couple shots with Ring of Honor, right? And then ECWA. Like what happened with? And like I said, we've spoke about it, but what brought you there? How'd you get to Ring of Honor? What happened? How come it didn't work out?
Well, I loved the time that I had in Ring of Honor. That was a lot of fun. It wasn't really that long, but you know, I was able to really learn a lot. I did
gave you the invite.
So I did one of the what do you call it, the tryouts that they would do at their company in Bristol, or their little school in Bristol. I was like, what do I got to lose? I'm gonna do this. And I already kind of knew Kevin Kelly, who was like in the office at that point. I knew him from wrestling in Pennsylvania a lot because he lives in like the central Pennsylvania. So anytime he was free, he would go to the Indies, and that's where I met him. And so I knew Steve Carino for Excite. So like I had like, you know, some people who knew who I was, who was in the office. So I did the thing. They invited me to do their top prospect tournament, which was really cool. I did that, and it was weird. So the leading of the top prospect tournament, obviously they don't tell you anything, which is fine. I mean, I wasn't really one to be told anything in the company anyway. So the week of, Kevin Kelly, I believe Kevin Kelly quit to go seek more opportunities with New Japan, and Steve Carino took the NXT job. Okay, those were my two guys that were pushing really hard for me. And I had a lot of dudes on the roster I knew from, you know, being in the business, like you guys know. And I did the prospect tournament. I felt it went pretty well. And And then after that, I just was ghosted. So I think that with the new company that I know that at the time they were going to start working with like Maryland Championship Wrestling a lot and like using like they started using a lot of their guys, which, hey, that's how the business happens. You know, I mean, it was just business. It wasn't anything personal. There was some things that happened. Like they never told me that there was a booking the next night in Columbus, Ohio. Because where I work for them was in Pittsburgh. And then they had the other show in Columbus, but they never told any of us that we were, I guess, supposed to be on. And I guess we were. No one said anything. And the one email was like, hey, if you can, like take, it's okay to take bookings the next night. We don't need you the next night. So it's like I took an independent booking the next night. I guess I was supposed to be there. We were supposed to be there. Nobody told me anything. So again, there was never any heat or anything. It was just kind of one of those things where I think I was a Kevin Kelly, Steve Corino guy, and everyone else was a Delirious guy. And I like Hunter. Hunter's really cool. I got nothing bad to say about him. But I think like he just had a different view of who he wanted to use than what Kevin and Steve did. And I think that's just really what it boiled down to. So, I mean, it sucked. I mean, I had a lot of fun, the opportunities I was given there. And it led to other things like this AEW dark thing I did recently. But, it's just one of those things where it just wasn't meant to be.
Good old wrestling. Gotta love it.
Yeah, you gotta love that. They don't fucking tell you that they want.
I mean, hey,
and then they're gonna
Boogalou was he's a Ring of Honor OG. You were on the first couple shows, right? And then they just kind of ghosted you. The same, right?
No, they didn't ghost me. No, they tried to play me. They tried to play me.
That what it was?
Yeah, they tried to play me because when it was XPW came in. When that XPW came in, they offered the Hit Squad, me and Homicide, a lot of money to go with them. And basically, me and Homicide, like I always had a shoot job, so that's how I made I was making money regardless.
Sure.
Homicide didn't have a shoot job, so I told D whatever he wanted to do. Well, word got back to Gabe, that we were going to jump ship, whatever, and all of a sudden they named me I was named the scapegoat of I was the one that started the deal.
Back, baby.
And I was like, it was never me. It was
Kevin.
They approached us at JP. They approached us at a JP up at a show, and they really approached Homicide and everybody else, but I was the one that got tagged the scapegoat. So Gabe got to call me on the phone, and he started like bullshitting me. Well, I heard it was you. I go, listen, it wasn't me. I said, I'm going to do whatever D wants to do because D needs to make money. So he's my partner.
Sure.
So whatever he decides, that's where my loyalty is. Well, they didn't feel the same way about me. So they offered D more money. D took the Ring of Honor deal, and I was a man without a country. So I went with XPW, and that's how the Dead Presidents were formed.
That's awesome. Big fan of you guys, by the way. Like a lot of the old indie DVDs I used to tape trade with some of my buddies back in the day.
I miss the good old days of tape trading, man.
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy is like I was very fortunate to work Cody Rhodes, and he didn't believe me when I told him that. I was like, no, like, because my dad's always loved wrestling. My father's always loved wrestling, and Cody was under the assumption that, okay, so your dad just knew Polka Dot Dusty. I'm like, nah, man. Like, he was a diehard. Like, him and his buddies would literally swap tapes back and forth. So he saw, like, old school Dusty, not just Polka Dot 92 dancing around Dusty. But, yeah, man, the tape trading, the DVD trading, like, that's a thing. And, like, that's one thing I do miss about – I miss a lot because it's not really done anymore. But I
it's cool, man.
DVDs with you guys on them, man.
We used to get them. We used to go to Jack's store all the time, and that and RF video.
I got
all the time.
What is the laundry bins?
Yeah.
Big old
I got like
tubs.
How many of those I got? I got like maybe 10 of them full of tapes from all over the world.
Wow,
more
that's
than that,
insane.
dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, probably more than that. I still have them. I want to convert them over to DVD. I just got to figure out how to do it.
Right.
Dude,
Yeah.
you don't understand these Mikey brought these guys in, and he put the fear of God into all the students when these two came in, bro. Like Mikey had everyone convinced that these guys are straight up fucking like Crips or Blood, like they'll legit stab you. And then they started working. Everyone was legit scared of them. We do this crazy match on NYWC, this thing called the Psycho Circus, and these two motherfuckers split this guy's head open with a steel chair. And from that moment on, I'm like, fuck working these guys. I will never. I was like
Nice.
green as goose shit. And I remember me and another kid, this kid Spinelli, who's super talented. Mikey was like, we were gonna do a student show, and they're like, who do you guys want to work? We were in a team, and we were like the Dead Presidents. He's like, you're not ready. I was like, all right, cool. And then as soon as I started getting on shows, they kind of, because I was an amateur, Boogaloo scooped me up, and then they kind of took me under their wing. But yeah, man, these guys. The first time, like I said, the fear of God was put in them, and I realized.
Hey, Sean, do you know our boy Juan? Juan Jeremy, the corner man.
He's from Gleason's Gym.
He's from Gleason's Gym. He does the,
okay.
He does all different kinds of shit. Dusto Bunny, the corner man.
Yeah.
You never made your way down to Gleason's Gym to go train?
So I've never been down to Gleason's Gym, but I did one time. I did a show in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I met Johnny. And he said that he had a show coming up, and he wanted me and my old tag partner Cage to be a part of it. And it was at La Boom Club.
Okay.
And it was like a lucha libre thing, and we went there. We worked. I forget who we worked. I want to say it was like a tag team that did like an Irish gimmick. And yeah, Johnny was really cool, man. He was awesome. Like he just was like, hey, I have an open spot. I liked what you guys did tonight. Do you want to come down? I was like, yeah, absolutely. But I've never been able to.
Hey, Willow, I like the way you work.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something though, but I'm gonna tell you something though. If Johnny invited you to do a show, that means he liked the way you work. He had to have been impressed. He had to have been impressed because to impress him is hard to impress him, and for him to put you on one of his shows, he had to be impressed.
He's very that guy's the shits all the time. Everybody's the shit. Everybody's the shits. So that's good.
Did you work for the Samoans at all? I mean, you've been down there. You have, okay.
Oh yeah.
Was it C4 or was it WXW?
It was it just changed to C4.
Okay.
And that's it was one of those deals where I wanted to get ring time places, and I think at the time somebody turned me on to that they had an open ring before a show, and I just went down there, and that's where I met Lance and Junior and Lloyd and all those guys and Sam, and I worked for those guys. I worked for Sam for probably like 4 or 5 years, I want to say. And that was just one of those things, where you guys know how it is. Like, you work for a little bit for the territory, and they just kind of like move to another place. You know what I mean? And like he had a lot of students that were like ready to be on shows, and I get it. Like those kids got to work too. So, but yeah, no, I have nothing but love for the Samoans, man. Like when I was able to get all my extra spots and stuff for the E came from the Samoans. Like they're the ones that really helped guide who you got to talk to, where you got to go to, where you got to fill out, and things like that. So nothing but love for those guys, man.
Yeah. Like, check this out.
I only worked for him a few times.
We first started going there. Lance was like 6 years old.
That's crazy.
At 6 years old, he was doing 450s. Like,
what's crazy? Like, I've heard that Azriel told me the same thing. Like he was like, yeah, you got little Lance doing 450s and he's barely out of diapers. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think he still does them too. I think
he does.
I saw a video of him recently doing it. I'm like, man, he can still do it.
Yeah, there's not many people that I trust, doing that. But him all day, man, because he's always like, for as big as he, as big as he is, he always lands perfect and safe, and there's never an issue.
Yeah, I feel bad, for somebody like him. He's that's a good looking kid. Like he could be on TV right now.
He could be, yeah. He should be too.
He should be on TV. Look, he's a great athlete too. I don't know what they're doing with him. You know?
Yeah, he throws a hell of a super kick, and I'll knock your fucking teeth out, though.
Absolutely.
Bobby Hernandez, thanks for tuning in, man.
There we go.
Bobby Hernandez from Oklahoma.
You gotta tell the whole ECWA saga, because I know it's pretty epic.
Yeah,
the whole up and down. I mean, it's up to you. We don't care. You can bury whoever you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, like I'm good with those guys now. Like they're pretty cool. But there was a moment there where there was some heat. I would say I was put in a little predicament. So one night I was supposed to wrestle Azrael, and
is it your whole life revolve around fucking Walter?
Yeah.
Damn, Wally.
You know what's crazy is in that moment in time, like it did. You know what I mean? But no, like
did he call you all the time?
Yeah. No.
Hey guys, how you doing? I asked him to be on the show. He goes, I would love to. He goes, but I don't like the way my voice sounds. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that motherfucker owes me $75 for a pillow he stole from a hotel.
Oh, really? He did?
Yeah.
Charged you for it?
We went, dude. We had an extra ticket to Ozfest, so somebody was like, invite Walter. I'm like, he doesn't like fucking metal. And
he likes bachata.
Yeah, and he stayed in the hotel. He slept on the floor, and then we're driving back. It was me, Crusher, and him. And I'm like, yo, where'd you get the pillow? He's like, I stole it from the hotel. And then Crusher calls me and goes, I got a $75 charge for a fucking pillow from that motherfucker.
Oh my god.
That's $7 he took my massager. He still has my massager.
Oh, I tell you, it's those days.
But no, like out your refrigerator too.
But yeah, I was slated to wrestle him in the main event at an ECWA show, and there was another company that I was wrestling for in the Harrisburg area. They're called Pro Wrestling Empire, and you know, ECWA, like that was always a pretty big hike for me. I a lot of the time did it at a you know, not a discounted rate, because I know that the buzz you get from being there, it's kind of one of those things where you kind of like, okay, invest in yourself a little bit. Well, I had a company reach out to me, the Pro Wrestling Empire, who wanted me to be on their show that the date conflicted with ECWA. And at first I was like, no guys, I gotta honor ECWA, like I'm the champion, like I have to do that. And then they said, we're gonna pay you, and it was literally, I kid you guys not, it was like 6 times what ECWA is paying me.
Oh shit.
Right?
Right? Like this.
Like I was like, that's like former name money right there. Like, what? Are you sure? Like, did you send a wrong message? And like, no, man, we really want you there. And like, they had deep pockets, so I was like, oh man, like I would kind of be mad at myself if I said no. And I thought that maybe those guys would have understood, like, hey, no, go get that money, man. Like we can run it next week. We could turn it into a gimmick. And they were kind of upset, but I, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, I have a family, as I'm sure you guys do too. And I always try to base my decisions off what's best for them. And, you know, a lot of money right before Christmas when you got a little daughter is pretty hard to pass up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, definitely. It can make a great Christmas already even better. And, you know, so I dipped out on them. Az was cool about it as soon as he understood it. And then we turned it into a gimmick, which was fine. But then, like, after a while, like, things were just kind of not fun anymore down there. It was kind of like, man, I really don't want to waste all this gas going down there. It's on my own dime sometimes. And then it just got to a point where I was like, guys, I think I'm going to try to seek other bookings on these dates. Because I was starting to get, you know, inquiries about, hey, we want you on this date. And it was always conflicting with ECWA. And I was like, I kind of did everything I could do there. I won the ECWA Super 8. I was their champion, tag champ. Like, I kind of did everything I could there. So it's like there's only a certain amount of time that you can. As soon as you do something that's all you can do in that company, it's like, okay, let's try to do other stuff.
Was this the new ECWA or was it the old?
This is
ECWA?
new. Yeah, no, this is new. It wasn't Kettner's.
Mega would be like, fuck that new ECWA. But yeah, but no, I hear you, man. It's big no matter what, you know.
Yeah, you know, like, and I mean, like, you know,
no matter what, the Super 8 still means something to people.
It does,
you know, to a lot of people, and I'm sure it meant a lot to you. You know,
it did.
But there's also so much that you can really. Once you've already done a lot there, and they are you kind of start spinning your wheels, man.
Exactly. And that's exactly how it was. So I left, and it was there was nothing. But then there was like a summer that was coming up where they reached out and they wanted to book me for like a June, July, and August date, and I was like, yeah, I got those dates for you. That's fine. And then like it was weird, like. It got closer to the event and I didn't hear any of the like advertisements for it. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. You know, like if you've been in the business longer than like 5-6 years and you are on a show and they're not advertising it, you're kind of like, something doesn't add up right here. So the guy who owned it at the time, I guess he canceled the shows. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then there was like a weird thing between him and me, but it wasn't just with me. Like there was also like he was really mad at some of the girls. Like I think Deanna Perrazzo he was mad at because she kind of did the same thing. But like at that time, like a lot of us, like we were getting noticed in bookings elsewhere, and I always felt that ECWA was that one company where you go to get your start, I guess, and like everything kind of just goes from there. You know, that's where people start to notice you and like, okay, we're going to take this person, we're going to take that person. And we want to book them. So like, I always felt that that's kind of, you know, what it was. And then it got weird. It got heated and, you know, it was just bad vibes. So I just, you know, I was done with them. Up until I did I wrestled Mr. Ooh La La, which I love Mike to death. He's a great dude.
And I remember when I first started, he was like in PWI like every fucking week, man.
Yeah.
Like you were seeing nonstop in all the wrestling magazines, and I was like, man, like I don't think I've ever actually seen him in person though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was always him and like Reckless Youth and
doing shows. Like, he wasn't really doing shows in the city, so when I was, you know, going to indie shows or nothing, like he wasn't really on any of those shows. And I don't think I ever worked a show with him because I don't think we ever really went.
He never worked like New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, we never went up north really or anything too far.
I think he was mainly in that Delaware, Jersey, like southern Jersey.
There were a few guys that were like that. Like there was this one cat, the Cheetah Master.
Yeah, the Cheetah Master. Yeah,
like he was just a Delaware guy, and I think maybe a few other places. But that dude was over as fuck.
Yeah,
like insanely over.
Yeah, it's crazy how over some of those guys were, right?
It was. I worked him in the tag match at Cheetah Master, and dude, it was one of the loudest ovations I ever heard in my life, or an indie guy.
You thought you were working LOD or something?
Dude, actually, bro, I thought Hogan came walking through the curtain, dude. I was like, what the fuck is going? Like, dude came out looking like a shitty Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and that place went fucking nuts.
Is he the one that he would go like, what? So
he literally looked like Tarzan. Like he had like the tiger.
You don't remember him, Louis? I remember seeing him in magazines. When I was first.
He apparently left the business because I guess Kettner was close with RF, and all that bullshit was coming out with RF with the fucking nonsense. So he's like a
not big, really nonsense, but you know,
like I'm not, it's all not.
It's all on tape, baby.
But yeah, so then I guess we're at the present, and I mean I guess I don't know, maybe Moose will argue differently, but you are kind of the Hogan, like I said in the beginning, of Excite. So I mean, like you could tell those stories of Excite. I mean, anytime any name that's been on the show, it's pretty much been you against the guy. The broader name would it be Ryder, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
I mean, fuck, dude, it's like a laundry list of guys that you've gotten to work up there.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like I'm very grateful. Like Moose has given me so many opportunities. we were able to wrestle for the very first time with Excite, which I think the first time we ever did anything outside of like a tag match, we did a death match.
Yeah, because that's all they ever
Like,
bring
let's
me
just
in to
go
do.
right to the.
Hey, look, that was that wasn't my idea, dude. Sean was all about it. Moose was all about it. But hey, look, we main evented the highest drawing Excite show, so I will always fucking put that out there. But yeah, that was our first time, and wasn't that where I had to hide from the commissioner because I gigged and I wasn't supposed to? Or
I think so. Yeah. I think that's that.
You got a death match with no blood.
No, we had blood. Just
I had supposed to have no blood.
Yeah. The guy was like, "Oh, yeah." I showed him a gusset plate. I'm like, "Oh no, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake." And then Sean put it in my arm, and the color started coming. And the guy apparently was searching for me, and I forget who gave me the Iggy. It might have been Joe Gacy.
I think it was Gacy. Yeah.
I think Gacy was like, "Dude, the commission's looking for you." I'm like, "Is this a good thing or a bad thing?" He's like, "Hey, it's not good." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And I think this dude was like, "Where is that guy?" And I think he wound up leaving. But yeah, man, you got, like I said, you got to work Cody.
John
Morrison.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You got to work a who's who, man.
What was that?
You got to work a who's who of.
I really did. Man. I was very blessed, man. Like I've been able to do a lot of cool stuff, and I thank you, Kaide, for saying that I'm like the Hogan up here. But with our area in upstate, like right here in the Binghamton area, like I pride myself in, like, I know a lot of like the wrestlers who are in this area are like they look at me and they see that I've been able to do all this stuff, with these big names, or do like the Ring of Honors or the AEWs and things like that. So like if anything, I hope that it can inspire a generation of them to kind of like, okay, we want what Sean has, like, let's work towards that. And then that way, like, as much as I love wrestling all these guys, like, I also would love to see, some of the other guys be able to grab, those opportunities and excel with them. Because then I feel like it just makes the entire area as a whole a lot better. I would love for Excite to be like the New York version, like an NEW, because like what they're doing out there is just like crazy cool and crazy good.
We can blame the owner for reasons, but
but it's my run at Excite's been so much fun. It's been cool. I'm really excited about we have a spot at our local mall. It used to be like a Forever 21 store or some teeny bop girly type dress up store that just went under. And we were able to capitalize it and turn it into like a miniature, like it looks pretty cool.
It's basically an arena.
It really is.
Moose was trying to tell us about it, but his internet connection is so shitty.
Yeah.
That we couldn't really know what the hell was going on.
Dude, it's like you'll see, it's on Twitch, this weekend live on Twitch, Excite Wrestling. But it literally is like it's kind of I forget the guys that used to do like CZW and the arena. Like the arena has the screens and the curtains. Excite basically has that. It's its own arena. It literally is its own little mini like arena type venue.
Yeah.
So they just keep all their shit there. They don't have to
the
like
training school.
That's awesome.
It's in the mall.
It's literally it was an old store in the mall.
So let me ask you a question. So you just have like random people that are in the mall just walk into the school and shit?
When we've had that plenty of times. So like,
hey, I'm looking for Forever 21.
Yeah, they're like, where's the headquarters shopping?
What are you guys doing here with no clothes on? I like this.
So like, it's crazy too, because like anytime there's training, like when anybody bumps on that ring, like you can hear an echo throughout the entire mall.
That's awesome.
And so everyone's always like peeking their head in, but like we got a curtain now to kind of block it, and we have a sign that says, "Hey, training's in progress. Try to." Be respectful of that. But then we had, you gotta carne it up. You got your posters, everything, so they can say, oh, there's wrestling, oh, there's an event, oh, let's do this. But it's funny because when we first got the spot that we did, the guy next door, he owns a collectible shop, like sports memorabilia and comic books. He came over, he goes, what are you people doing? I can't stand you people. This is so loud. I hate it.
I thought he'd be excited.
And then our first show happened where he had an entire line of people that went into his store and looked at stuff. He had like record business that day on our first show. And he came back over. He goes, "You'll never hear another complaint from me ever again." And now he's one of our ticket sellers. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, if he was smart, he could capitalize off of it and bring wrestlers in to do autograph signings.
Don't listen. It's not just the guy next door. It's the fat idiot running the company too. I have had numerous. We all have had numerous talks with him. Like, why are we doing this? And,
yes, because he actually came in. He goes, "Hey, I'll go halves on a name." And like, you just have him do the meet and greet at my store. I was like, "Moose, let's do this." Like,
yeah.
But
Johnny Moose is his own. I love Moose to death.
Same.
He apparently is my best man at my wedding. I don't know how that even fucking came about. But yeah, business wise, like he's a great. Don't get me wrong. There's times where I'm like, wow, you're actually a good businessman. And then there are times going, why do you have your thumb up your ass? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like it's mind blowing.
To give you guys an idea. I'm almost 100%. I'm about 97% sure the very first time Ricochet and Johnny Gargano ever wrestled was at Excite.
Wow.
The very first time I believe Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano wrestled was at Excite. And I'm like, Moose, why do we not have that video content everywhere? Because that can really like separate from the pack. Mm-hmm. And he's so like, I just didn't like how it looked. Yeah, lazy. That's a we could just kind of throw it out there, but yeah, I mean that's why thankfully now like we have the Twitch stream, and like I've noticed like when we're able to broadcast it on Twitch, when we go back and like Kaide, like with you or me or anybody, any other boys, like take clips from their match and post them on social media and tag the accounts. Everything like Excite gets more followers, gets more views, and I'm like, hey,
it's definitely getting more attention. That
without a doubt, absolutely. Sure. And I think
it's a solid roster. I mean,
it's
a really good roster. But I mean, like I said, you are. I mean, you're coming back. You took a little time off. You always take time off. You're like fucking the Excite's Brock Lesnar now. You come in every couple of months and then you leave and then you come back and you're always on top.
He has a structured schedule.
He does. Schedule. Top
Sean will come in.
Contract.
Yeah.
No, limited dates.
Yeah. No, it was actually weird. Like, so I hurt my elbow pretty good. It was a while ago, and I was just doing what we all do, just kind of like, I'm fine. It's not that bad. If it was serious, it would have been. I would know. But it wasn't healing, and I'm like, okay, something's going on here. So I went to a doctor. Thankfully, I have a shoot job outside of wrestling, and I have really amazing kick-ass health insurance. And the doctor, they doctored it up. They looked at it. They did MRI. They did all that. And they're like, yeah, you should probably take a break from wrestling for a few months. What happened was one of the tendons or ligaments or whatever that connects your wrist to your elbow, like it runs through your forearm. Mm-hmm. Right up at the elbow, it was almost torn.
Right here?
Yeah. So
I'm going through it right now, bro.
Dude, I thought it was like golfer's elbow. So I was like, okay, it'll be fine. And then they looked at the MR and they're like, dude, you gotta like rest for a while and let that heal up. So I was able to do the PT and all that. And it's been 3 months. It feels great now. Like I can work out with it. I can lift weights. There's no issues. So, but if I would have kept going and tore that, I probably would have been out for around a year because it would have been a complete elbow reconstruction type deal.
Yeah.
So
I thought I had a bicep tear because anytime I would grab something, I would feel it in my bicep.
Yeah.
And then I keep telling my wife goes, let me see your arm. And then my sister-in-law looks, she goes, no, it's your forearm, it's not your bicep. Just by touching my arm, she was able to tell. So they've been working on it the last week. My wife been working on my arm.
I got to tell you though, like golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, like, come on, man. Those are like the two softest sports in the world, and they got injuries. That people are like, hey man, you got golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. You're like, Man, I do so much more than a tennis player or a golfer.
Yeah, right.
Control these forearms.
Yeah. You ever seen
That was
the?
the thing, I was like, man,
I already stamped out my 3,000 bumps.
Feel these
That
fucking
was the thing,
backhand.
like, I was like, man, like, this is golfer's elbow. Like, I'll never play golf ever in my life. Like, this sucks. Like, absolutely not. But yeah, no, it was a lot more serious. And I did it working out. Like it was just one of those things. I was doing preacher bicep curls. And it wasn't, you know, I think you guys can relate. The older you get, like the weirder the injuries get.
Everything breaks.
Yeah, so I was like,
fucking breaks.
Man, that wasn't even a lot of weight. What in the hell is wrong? So, but
I felt mine on the preacher curl. On a preacher curl,
yeah,
the machine, dude. On the machine, that's when I felt it. I was like, what the hell,
dude? Same thing with me. That was literally the same thing. I was like, my God, this sucks like a lot, but. Yeah,
people, you know, especially being a worker, people, you know, you like, I'll be in the gym or whatever, and people are like, dude, you're young still. I'm like, nah, man, I'm like 80 in real life. Like wrestling years, like my ass is kicked, dude. Especially all the dumb shit I've done.
Yeah,
I feel every single thing, dude. It sucks now.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, man, I'm always, dude. When you're in the locker room, I have a great time. It's like,
thank you, man. Yeah, we always have a good time. That's for sure.
We always, you know, some of my favorite times with you. Like I think I've told you, like we both agreed. I think doing like NTW, whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah,
I literally would do that drive just to hang out because it wasn't the best wrestling, but it
wasn't the best wrestling. Some of the characters on the show were kind of questionable, but we always, you, me, Rob, Vinny, like we always just kick it, just have fun and just laugh.
Yeah, it was a Loke, and then we had with Trevor Murdoch, and it's always. But we like to on the show, you know, there's. I know you're proficient at taking pile drivers. If you want to tell that story, you feel free. Any stories you want to share? Any good times, road stories, any horror stories? By all means, man. You know,
the most recent horror
stories. We like to ask about the craziest road story you have. Also, you don't gotta name drop anybody if you don't want to get them in trouble.
Okay.
But if you don't care about name dropping, that don't matter either. You know.
Crazy.
We keep it out there.
Man, like there's been so many crazy stories.
There he is.
Foxy's husband.
He need to change his handle. Foxy.
He does.
Dude, so like I won't say it like it was crazy, but like when Vinny, my buddy Axel Lennox, his working name, his real name is Vinny. We were doing a lot of shows in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Amish town galore, right? And I remember this show was like it was one of those deals where like they would bring us in on a Friday. They'd have like a Friday show and a Saturday show, and it was at like a hotel. So we're able to stay, like they picked up the room and everything, which was great. It was awesome. So like this one show or this one weekend, like we go down there, right? And like it's a hike from us. It's like 3.5 hours driving. So like you get to the end of the turnpike, and both Vinny and I, we got pissed so bad. And I know that there's a McDonald's coming up, and like so I pull in, and like it was a race to the bathroom, right? And we get in there, I get to the urinal, he gets in, there's just like a regular toilet, and then there's the urinal, and then the sink, and he was just like, so he just starts peeing in the sink. And while he's doing that, the guy that was in the toilet came out, and he was like, what the hell's going on? So that happened.
Go, man.
This show, this series of shows was in the middle of July. And I say that for a reason, because when we get there, we get to the venue, you got to check in. And all of a sudden, like, I see somebody dressed as a Santa Claus. And I was like, okay, you don't really see that. It's July, right? Like, it's summer out. So I start walking closer, and then all of a sudden, like, I see more Santa Clauses. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This is nuts. And then, like, they're, like, right where you get to the lobby, there's, like, this giant conference room. And I just look to the right, and there's probably 500 Santa Clauses. Like, these dudes just dressed as Santa Claus. And I look at Vinny, I'm like, bro, like, I don't do drugs or anything like that, but, like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like, what's going on here? And it was apparently it was SantaCon at the Lancaster Host. So like that,
they do a Santa pub crawl out here.
Yeah,
in Florida,
I was like, so
in
anyway,
the middle of July, I think.
us being the workers that we are, of course, like, you know, we got to get a few of them to come to the show that night because like that's what we do, right? And that night, I'm wrestling he's now canceled, David Starr, and I was wrestling him. They also had like the micro championship wrestling guys there.
Oh yeah, those guys are excellent.
Oh, they're amazing. So like Max thought that to get good heat, he should kick one before the match starts, and then the payoff.
Wonders why he's canceled.
Yeah.
Is
So
that why he got canceled?
No, it should be.
The payoff would be at the end, like they would jump him or whatever, and you know he'll take like a bump from all of them or whatever, right? Well, of course, he actually super kicks the smallest one as hard as he can. And I'm just like check that boy's pulse real quick because I don't know if he's breathing real quick. So afterwards, like they're, you know, all the micro guys are kind of like checking on their friend and they come up to me and they're like, hey, man, like I had like 7 of them all like coming up.
You don't need to do the voice, Sean.
Yeah, you do. It's a part of it. They're like, hey, man, we got to get even with David Starr. And I'm like, okay,
do it.
Like, so we do the match, right? We do the match. Babyface was over. They helped me. And then like they called Stinkface. And I was like, okay. So imagine he's in the corner and at first he's like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll be in the corner. And then all of a sudden, like all of them were holding on to him with everything they have. And the bigger one, who's a little, you know, on the big side, starts undoing his tights. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. He dropped trow. I just see midget brown eye and I'm going, oh no. And this dude, I mean, all of Max's face was in this little man's butt. I was just like,
amazing.
Oh my god!
Amazing.
Yeah,
man.
So it was definitely justified, especially now. No, we kind of know, but yeah, I mean that's kind of like a tame thing. I mean, there's been other things, but like that was just the most memorable weekend ever because having to pee really bad, like 300 Santa Clauses, and then midgets giving David Starr a shoot.
You didn't get on the canceled level.
Yeah.
You didn't go to Coney Island?
No, dude. So I wasn't a part of the Coney Island deal. No.
Coney Island was that's a fucking I need Moose on here. That's a story in itself.
Maybe when his internet gets better.
Yeah,
dude,
I've only heard the stories, and I'm just like, my gosh, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Coney Island was that was dangerous.
Yeah. He almost I do know that he almost closed up shop after that one.
Well, not even on Moose's end, dude. I remember seeing DJ Hyde pissed on himself after that show. So there's some good stories that came out of that.
Perfect.
But yeah. But yeah, man, we appreciate you being on, dude.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, man.
Definitely plug that social.
Yeah. Let people know where they can find you, man.
Dude, so I got Pro Wrestling Tees store, just go to prowrestlingtees.com. You can search my name, Sean Carr, spelled SEANCARR. And then I'm on the Instagram at Sean Carr 88. I have Facebook, but like I have a like page, but it's just kind of there. But usually the Instagram is the place to go to follow me on everything. I did have Twitter, but then like I was like, I'm really not a Twitter guy. That was a few years ago, so that was before it was like the cool thing to quit Twitter. But yeah, just
it's the cool thing to join. Fuck Twitter.
Yeah,
look, I might come back. Elon Musk board. It's making a lot of people upset, so I may just jump in.
Yeah, now it's hot again.
Yeah.
But man, Sean, thank you, man. We do appreciate.
What do you got coming up, man? Besides this Saturday,
plug that. Where can people see that?
I got Excite, so they could look at if you can't make Excite in Johnson City, New York, at the Oakdale Mall, you can watch it on Twitch.
What's the Twitch?
Just what is it? It's Twitch TV. Twitch.tv/Excite Wrestling.
Yep.
Excite is spelled with an X. There's that. I actually got a couple ECPW shows coming up. One is on May 22nd. It's at the American Legion in Binghamton. It is a benefit for one of my friends wrestling that night, Rotmare, his mother.
Good.
It's a benefit for his mom.
There it is, right there.
There it is.
All right, there you go.
Perfect. Appreciate you guys.
No, definitely, man. You know, I'll definitely try and check it out. You said
Yeah,
next
I'm gonna
Saturday.
check that out, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, you
it's
got to
just-
check it out. That's Foxy's debut. I know you want to see
Fox's
that.
debuting. Yeah, that'll be good. That'd be awesome.
I got to get over somehow.
Can't wait till me and Louie show up at one of them stadium shows.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It'd be an honor.
We'll push for it. Moose is, you know.
No,
So, by the way, speaking of stadium shows, I heard
right now we gotta get
well,
Louie back.
we got time. We got time. Don't worry about that. We got time. But speaking of stadium shows, I heard a little birdie, well, actually a big bird, told me that somebody doesn't want to do war games. That he's over that shit.
Yeah, that'd be me.
You motherfucker.
Yes. Well, no, because you know, the last time we did War Games, I was like, what is going on? Like, it was literally you and me trying to shoot call everything. And I think DJ was being kind of like, DJ had his hand in it when he wasn't even in the match. And it was just weird.
Well, we won't have an idiot ripping the door off the fucking cage and ruin the whole thing. So we'll be good.
There's that too.
This guy, TJ Marconi, thought he was fucking Kane. And the door,
How do I know that name?
He fucking Public Enemy. He was in the Crusade. He's trained by Magic. He rolled with Dickinson. Big kid. He kind of looks like Shitty Diesel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've probably seen.
We were doing this. We did this cool angle. We invaded. It was him, myself, Sozio, or Niles Young, however you know him. Anthony Gangone, Brooke Danielle, Tommy Dreamer student, and we were like the invading NWO type deal. Dude, ripped the door off the cage. Wasn't meant to be ripped off the cage. But it's War Games, and he rips the door off the cage, and I'm like, all right, asshole, so now what are we supposed to do? Because the whole gimmick is to keep everyone in. Why would we stay in the cage?
Yeah.
So just fucked it all up.
And like, and that night, like one of the because we did an injury angle with me earlier on the night when I had to wrestle DJ. And then we, what was it? Like,
hit you with the clothesline?
Brother. Like, let me tell you. Clothesline wasn't so bad. It was that I was in the tree of woe and he did the running cannonball, and like his boot caught me right in the nether regions, and I was like, all right, I'm over this right now. But we did that. We did the injury angle, and like the big comeback was supposed to be me taking the door, and I think it was either slam it on your head or
probably
Marconi's head. And I got out there like, the door's on the ground, good. So like I just went over. I think I grabbed like a chair the fan had and did
the favorite part of the match was we did the whole thing, and it was all right, man. Everyone's like, all right, Stock, you start, you'll control the chaos. And then here comes Sean, and he just looks at me and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I just go, "Just eliminate me. Go, let's go. Yeah. I gotta go." I just gave up. So
that one thing, and then like the other War Games match I was in, I was in it with it was in Harrisburg, and it was like Rebel was in it, and like it just wasn't good at all. So like I have bad experiences with doing 2 War Games matches, and I was like, you know what? Give me someone to wrestle. I'm good with that.
We'll get you in it. I'll push the presidents to be part of it.
I love War Games. I love War Games.
Although we don't give them chairs, everyone will be good.
Yeah, we won't do any concertos.
Yeah, they split it, dude. They split this motherfucker from New York to California, bro. It was like a zipper. It was brutal.
No beer bottles.
It was gross.
Yeah, no bottles.
That might have been one of the actual times that I've was like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
what am I like?
He dropped his head.
Like,
he went like that.
Well, Buddy said, he told me, hey man, make sure when you bring you're small, so make sure when you swing that chair, you swing it hard, because you know I can't sell it if you don't. I was like, don't worry, man, I swing like Ken Griffey Jr., bro. And he was like, okay. So then when I hit him, he was like, all right. Then when he saw my brother wind up, he said, "Oh shit!" And he tucked his head. And when he tucked his head, the lip hit him. And he was bald. His fucking head did this.
Oh,
dude, his skin just like folded down, and we were like, me and Louis both looked at each other. We were like, "Fuck." Hey, bro, you just all you see is the white. There was no blood. It was just straight white. and I'm like, oh shit.
There's
Then all
like
of
a
a
little
sudden,
trickle
like,
of blood at the edges.
yeah.
Of
Then all of a sudden,
California,
it's
New
just
York.
like, whoop,
Oh
blood
my
everywhere.
gosh.
And Buggy was like, he pulled that skin up, and he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Gotta go home.
And then Louis like,
Yeah, go home
feed up.
now.
Louis
Yeah,
like, feed up.
wow.
He's like, oh shit. Louis like, feed the fuck up. Dude's like, Louis like, feed up. Dude gets
So
up.
we had to send him to a
hit him with
table.
the chair.
Oh
we
my
double
gosh.
hit him with the chair. Then he
Yeah.
fucking rolled to the outside, and my brother throws me through him at him, and me and him fall through the table.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
how
I
they
thought
were gonna get eliminated.
I thought the fucking table leg went through my pants.
Oh
and, like,
man.
took like a chunk out of my, like scraped the hell out my leg. And I thought I got impaled. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, God damn it. I should have never fucking hit this dude so hard.
Jeez.
But I was fine. I was just like, oh shit. But
Damn, that's crazy. That's nuts.
yeah.
But yeah, man.
Crazy
Again, like
stuff, man.
really appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yeah,
So,
no, thank
definitely
you
get
guys
on
very
again.
much. I appreciate it big time.
But yeah, man. Well, I'll see you Saturday, brother.
Yeah, man. I'll see you guys. All right.
I'll be
I'm
watching.
gonna check that show out,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely
Awesome.
gonna watch.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
You guys be safe. Yeah. Yeah, Damien. That was the Psycho Circus with Nuke.
Yeah.
But
Well,
hey,
yeah,
y'all be safe, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all check out Sean Carr.
And Stockade and Foxy.
Yeah, check out Stockade and Foxy this weekend at Excite. If y'all can't be there, make sure y'all check it out on the Twitch. You know, so what else we got? We got Thursday, but that's tomorrow. Fuck.
Killing
the business tomorrow. Kingpin Angel and King Mega. I don't know if does Pierce got a show coming up? I don't even know, man.
Yeah, show every day of the week, Pierce.
Yeah, then he's got his NXT roundup. And you can catch me and Mega and Kenny on No Holds Barred Sports Show on Tuesdays at 8:05. So make sure y'all check it out. You know, give us follows, likes. You know, we appreciate all that. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week. Who do we got next week? Do we got anybody yet?
I think we're talking to Nick Burke, right? Weren't we going to do Burke?
Oh, yeah.
I might have somebody.
All right, hey, whatever.
Hey.
It's a surprise.
Yeah,
we'll
you'll find out
show
next
with
week.
Nick Burke.
There you go.
Hey, you know what, man? Burke was entertaining, though. But thank you again, Sean.
I can't be doing no 2 hours again.
No, man, that was long.
That was rough.
Hey, everybody I know said they were entertained with it. Hey, see y'all next week.
All right, guys. Thank you again very much. I appreciate it.
All right.